Hello everyone, welcome you all to another video of my channel Fern Learning. Today I am going to explain neutralization, which is in a continuation of my last video which was on acids and bases. So this is a process which is very interesting and it has wide application in our daily life. So let's begin. Neutralization. So by the end of this lesson, you will be able to define and explain neutralization. You will be able to write word equation for neutralization by using different acids and bases, and you will be able to list and identify different examples of neutralization in daily life. So let us understand first what is neutralization. When an acid and base are mixed, they react with each other and they form a new substance or a new product which is known as salt. This process is neutralization, or in simple words you can say the reaction between an acid and base is known as neutralization. The salt is produced along with water, and the salt, it may be acidic, basic or neutral in nature. Now that depends upon the type of acid or base you are taking, the strength of acid and base. So it depends upon acids and base. But here we will be discussing about the neutral nature of the salt, or the neutral salts. Now in this neutralization process, there is always heat is produced in the reaction. That means the reaction is exothermic, which raises the temperature of the reaction mixture. That also you can investigate in the laboratory by doing an experiment. You can measure the temperature change before starting the experiment from the reaction mixture, and when the product is formed, you can measure the temperature will rise. That will show the reaction is exothermic. So this is the characteristic of the neutralization reactions. They are always exothermic. Now what will be the word equation for this? How do we write? So as I said, when an acid react with a base, so your reactants are acid and base, your products are salt and water, and the heat is evolved that shows the nature of the reaction. It is exothermic reaction. Now let us apply this word equation to write some chemical equations or symbol equations. Let's take some acid, like here I have taken hydrochloric acid, which is HCl. The base is sodium hydroxide, its formula is NaOH. When they both react, they form NaCl and water. Now NaCl is the sodium chloride. The common name is the common salt which we are eating in our day-to-day food. The other one reaction is given here. Again the hydrochloric acid, KOH, is a base. The name is potassium hydroxide. When they both react, they form KCl, potassium chloride and water. So the salt produced here, it is potassium chloride. So similarly you can perform this experiment in the lab as well. You can mix both the acids and base and they react and they will form the products here. Now how to investigate or how to verify the nature of the neutral solution? You can see my last video on acids and bases and indicators, where indicators are used to identify the nature of solution as they change color. But what about the neutral solution? How do we verify the given solution is neutral? Like distilled water is neutral in nature. So how do we verify? Same indicators we can use here to identify the neutral nature as well. Now if you remember, we have taken the litmus paper, which is red and blue. There are two types of litmus paper. You can take both the litmus paper and dip in the distilled water. If there will not be any change in the color of the both litmus paper, that shows this substance or this solution or distilled water is neutral in nature. And this we can apply to any other neutral salts also. Now let's move on to the application of neutralization in our daily life. First one is indigestion. This is the very most common word and you must be knowing what happened in indigestion. As you know, there is an acid in our stomach, but due to some junk food or spicy, the acid produced is in more quantity and you feel, indigestion or hyperacidity. So how can you get relief from that? When you visit doctor, they give you some anti-acid medicine. Now what does it contain? This anti-acid is actually a base which when you take it, it neutralizes the extra acid produced in your stomach. So basically we are following this neutralization phenomena to get rid of that indigestion or hyperacidity. Other example is ant bite. Now when the ant bite, it gives the formic acid injects into our skin while biting. So again this is injecting an acid, so we need a base to get relief from it. So we can use the moist baking soda. As you know, this is a base which the chemical name is sodium hydrogen carbonate, or we can use the calamine lotion, or we can use the zinc carbonate, and we can apply on the area where the ant has bitten. You will get relief very fast. Next is the soil treatment. Now soil has to be neutral for the good production of the crops. So sometimes what happens, using of too much of chemical fertilizers, the soil turns into an acidic and it affects the production of the crop. So we need to get rid of the nature of the acidic soil. We have to add a base. So we are adding quicklime or the slaked lime. The chemical name of quicklime is calcium oxide and slaked lime is calcium hydroxide. So once you add to the soil will be neutralized. The other thing is that sometimes the soil becomes basic. So what we can do, we can add the organic substances, as when the organic substances decompose, they release acids. So the basic nature or the acidic nature of soil can be neutralized by adding the different acidic or basic substances to the soil. And here also this phenomena is neutralization. Now factory waste is also acidic in nature, and they cannot be directly dumped anywhere, because if it is dumped into the water body, it is going to affect the aquatic life, and if it is going to dump to the land, the soil will become acidic, which is affecting the crop production. So what does the factory does? They just remove the acid or neutralize the basic nature or acidic nature, which here in the factory it is acidic nature. So they neutralize the acidic nature by adding base. Now base here is in the limestone. You can look in the picture here. This waste is there, which is going in the treatment tank where there is a limestone. It neutralizes and then it is dumped into the water bodies or the soil. The last is the acid rain. The rain becomes acidic, it means. Now how does the rain becomes acidic? Because when there is an acid in the rain, but how it is produced? This is again due to the pollution. With the pollutants, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon dioxide in the air mix with the rain, they form an acid. Like carbon dioxide form carbonic acid, sulfur form sulfuric acid, and nitrogen dioxide form nitric acid. And then that rain causes damage to the houses, historic monuments, and etc. As you know, Taj Mahal is also, there is a industrial very surrounding the Taj Mahal area, and it is the marble of Taj Mahal is getting affected by the acid rain, as the pollution is too much there, and that pollutants is the reason for the acid rain there. So this is how the neutralization affects in our daily life, the application of it. Now if you have any queries, please post in the comment section, and kindly like, subscribe and share. Thank you.